do you take dreams like as like seriously at all, or like see them as like important, or like they're telling you something, or like they're
Um,
like predicting something stupid?
so I never really have
Okay.
dreams. Like
Okay.
the last time, okay, recently, yes, I've been having dreams, but like usually I don't have any,
Yeah.
like ever. And it's kind of weird. I don't know why. I think maybe something is wrong with me, possibly. Um, no, but the dreams I've been having recently are kind of weird.
Bro, I could tell
No
I can
comment.
tell you
Just
a
no
I can
comment.
tell you a really weird dream that I just
Just
had,
no comment.
and it
Yeah, you can
involved
tell
you
me. Oh,
and
please.
our group.
If it's not sexual,
No, it's not. It's just like, of all things, this is the most random combination of events, and it's been at a location that I've had a dream in before. So I
okay.
was familiar with this location, but the scenario was just so retarded and random,
Wow.
and
Okay.
kind of like shocking.
Ableist much?
So
I'm just kidding.
from what I remember, because in most dreams you don't remember how you get there.
Right, right, right.
I remember it was like this weird like
Dude,
hiking
once you're done,
trail, and like
I have one
this.
that I wrote down.
Oh, okay, and like this gigantic like mountainous area with a zip line that goes for miles. Like you hike in and you zip line all the way out. But when you get to the middle, there's it's a zip line web. So like there's this big crater in the middle,
Okay.
and all these mountains surround the center. And then there's like this pole and like this zip line web that goes down different valleys of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So all these people are hiking in through different valleys, and then when you get to the end, you go up to a zip line and you zip line all the way out, however many, whatever it is, the miles.
So are they going from the
No,
center
you're coming
of
out and you're hiking up the mountain into the center.
into the center? Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
there's
Okay,
like
because
these different ways you can come in. And then when you get to the center, you can zip line back out the way you came in, but zip lined up higher and all
oh,
that.
interesting.
That was like the setting, is the trail
Yeah,
going up and the center bit. And somehow my house, um
your house was in the center of the
no,
zip
like
lines.
I just randomly, like everything was teleported to like my driveway.
Okay,
So
Mister Jumper over here.
yeah, it was okay. Before that, it was me driving on my way to the thing tonight, and I get there,
Okay,
but I have the Jeep, and I'm going to get my car, which is already there, so I can just pull around the corner in my car, which is, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. Um, that happens, and then somehow, it gets really weird, and somehow I have this different little like hot rod that is on a boat. Like it's a boat,
what?
but it's a boat, but the shell is a hot rod. Like it's not a
Okay,
car. It's like, like those open face like hot rod. Like when you think of a hot rod.
dude, I don't even know what a
Yeah.
hot rod
Okay,
freaking
so it's like a
is.
convertible. It's like a convertible muscle car. Like if you just type in hot rod.
Okay, okay. Let me look up what a hot rod is.
Like if you just
Hot
go to
rod.
images for hot rod, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, oh, oh,
Like one
oh.
of
Okay.
those things.
Yeah, but just
But
with
it
the
was
top
just the
off.
shell. It was a convertible, and it was like a jet ski kind of thing. But the shell
Interesting.
looked like the hot rod. It didn't make
Okay.
any sense. And then I like I got to the church with the Jeep,
Mm-hmm.
and then I randomly, I don't know if there was connecting dots in my head at the time, but I don't remember them now. I'm randomly at the hiking trail jet skiing on a hot rod jet ski up the trail on a river.
Okay.
Random,
So random.
random. You get to the top, and
Yeah,
Kevin is
sure.
there,
Oh,
and we zip line out.
is this is this like a romance? A romance? A
No,
romance?
and I'm like, okay, this is it. Like in
Is he
my
like,
head, it makes
let's
sense.
go?
Yeah, and he's like laying back and he's throwing all
Oh
around on
my
the zip line,
gosh.
like going
Just
down the mountain.
screaming.
Yeah, and
Just
it's like,
screaming.
and then we zip line out, but then we're back at the top again, and everybody is running towards this person on the ground who's been like assaulted.
What?
And it's you on the ground.
Why am I being
And
assaulted?
our entire group is surrounding you. And you have like
assaulted?
this big, like it looks like you've been shot in the head, but you're alive.
Oh gosh.
But you're alive. Like there's this big old red mark, and it's like you can see your veins, and like it's like it looks like you've been hit really bad or something, and you're just kind of like out of it, but you're alive, and everybody around you is like freaking out. Theo was there.
What?
And our
He was
group was there.
persecuting me too.
And then I remember, I was like this. I was just like, shit, we have to record today.
Oh my
that
gosh.
was my first
Thinking
thought.
about the podcast.
I'm like, oh no more podcasts. We're done. We have to record today.
Does 3 episodes.
And then the one detail that I remember is Christy comes over to me and gives me a hug. And then someone shows up. I think it's Elijah, who was like, because nobody knew who did it.
Mm.
And I think it was
so you're
Elijah.
saying Elijah shot me in the head?
No, Elijah was there, and he started like drilling everybody on where they were and what they were doing to like find out who did it.
Interesting. A game of Mafia.
Random. And then everybody was giving their explanation, and I was talking about how it was with Kevin or whatever. And he didn't like believe it or something, and Kevin was nowhere to be seen. And then somehow we're in my driveway, same setting, just on the ground in the driveway this time. And I'm like pissed and sad and like just angry. So I grab my car keys and I start walking up the street.
Yeah.
And from what I think I was like, I don't remember where I was going. Was I going to I was like seeking comfort? I think I want to say I can't, because this is when I woke up.
Okay.
When you called me. So I want to say.
When the frick did I call you?
No, to the Discord call.
Oh.
Because I get it on my phone.
Yeah.
And I had my phone
like
on my side.
I
just like jolted awake. And I'm like.
Interesting.
That felt real and so stupid. And why?
You need to listen carefully because I know exactly what this means, okay?
Okay.
So,
sure you do.
Basically, me and all the mountains and the paths leading into the mountains with the zip lines, that's the journey of life and how you've come to the place that you're at right now. And me being down in the middle, being assaulted with my head cracked open, that basically is symbolic of like our whole group being around us and me being in the middle and you coming up to us is symbolic of like everybody that is involved with the group, and you really care about me and you care so much that you wanted to come help me. And Elijah comes up as the voice of reason, and he tries to, as like kind of a savior type, comes and fills in the gaps. Okay, how did this happen? Who did this? Why is this happening? And basically, the reason you zoom back to your house is because you're looking for comfort, but then you start wandering off. It's all about seeking comfort. And what you got to understand is in this life, we can't seek comfort because we're called to be uncomfortable. Seek discomfort.
Are you being serious or are you just bullshitting? Because I'm going to be honest. What you're saying,
right now.
Someone could take that so seriously because it sounds like you're connecting dots. And you're like, everybody cares about me, and I'm the important one, and Elijah is a savior.
Right. I mean,
and Kevin isn't important because he just disappears.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot. No, I was
just like I did in the story. It's okay.
I was focusing too hard on like telling this like total BS story just for content. I thought it was funny just to like go in depth.
Well, you're gonna tell me yours.
Bro, mine's not nearly as exciting. Let me see.
Yeah, you right? I've written dreams down before. I think I have a few in my phone.
I've only ever written a couple. I have so many random notes. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh, I had this really weird dream Oh, I had this really weird dream, dude. It was where there was this ballerina party going on in the forest. Yo, this is crazy.
What?
Okay. Okay. So it was like think like Washington. Just like trees all around.
Yes.
It's foggy, overcast, okay? There's this ballerina, like, I guess not concert, but like rehearsal, recital. I don't know. It's going on. And it's happening in this forest. And then there was this like award ceremony. So, like, think like theater. When you go to like listen to an orchestra or watch a
Oh,
play, like, think that kind of a theater.
yeah.
And then there was this award thing going on. And this one girl, she wanted to be the best, but there was this one guy that was better than her, and she didn't know what she could do to beat him, and yeah, she got jealous, and everyone on this team, everyone on this ballet team was
Ballet team.
whatever it's called, was like super good looking, and for whatever reason, I was on the team, but I didn't
Okay.
realize it in the beginning when I was
Okay.
in the forest.
Okay.
So, and the funny thing is, this girl who was trying to be better than the guy, I'm the guy, and
Oh, you
she
were,
was
you
trying
were
to
the
be.
better one?
I was the better one because
Because
obviously I'm
you're
the
an
protagonist.
amazing dancer.
Listen, I'm the protagonist in my dream,
Yeah, I know.
but
And you tried to
turns out,
be the protagonist of mine too.
yeah, turns out, it was all just a farce. Okay, it was. I was actually not that great of a dancer compared to her. She was actually way better. She is super skilled. She does like interpretive dancing. She pulls like butterflies out of her hair and just, I don't know. But anyways, so we had to take part in this graduation ceremony, and this is where it cuts off. But I remember some of this dream, okay? So let's just say we
That's so random though.
let's just say we kissed at the end.
Okay. Was this a random chick or someone that you knew? You don't have to say who.
No, I don't even know. This was last year. This was like a
Okay.
year ago.
So you don't remember who it was.
I don't even know who it was. Like, yeah. Also, I have in my notes, like right next to that note, it says "Toodles noodles. I'll see you in the soup."
Maybe that's something that they said in the dream.
No. It's cause I said I'd always say, I'm gonna scoot my boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna scoot my boot.
Yeah.
So this was just like another random thing that I came up with was Toodles noodles. I'll see you in the soup.
Well, I'm pretty sure you haven't come up with "scoop my boot."
Oh, I'm not saying I came up
You
with
just
it. I'm
said
just saying I
another
would
thing I came up with.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever, dude. Toodles noodles. I'll see you in the soup. I probably didn't come up with that either, but
That sounds more original though, because it's just completely random.
it is pretty random. But scoot my boot. That's like, yeah, that's something I use all the time.
Bro, that's a full cup. Jeez. Oh, you're dripping.
I spilled. Gosh dang it.
No tea infuser this time, since we remember
No,
it. Since you
just a
remember-
tea bag.
Since we introduced it.
Yeah, I do have it right here though.
Oh, there's that strawberry.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, dreams are weird, dude. I don't understand them, and I never have any
I've had
dreams.
pretty
Yo,
tame
okay,
dreams,
wait.
usually.
Let me tell you this other dream. Yo, this one was cool though. This one was cool. So, it starts off with God at a computer finishing editing up his movie.
Is this the movie Bruce Almighty?
No. It's titled The Story of Mankind. He clicks export and then turns around and sighs. Ah, finally. That took a while.
And then the
He
export
stretches
gets
and
corrupted.
starts walking. He stretches and starts walking towards the camera. Ferris Bueller style, he goes through an account of every event in humanity, narrating it all along the way. And then this is like supposed to be set in a post-apocalyptic kind of way where God's just like, "Hey, how did we get here? You know, how did we get to where like the world is on fire and like everyone is dying, demons are flying around, snatching people up, like, you know, this is how this happened. Let me just take you through everything that we've gone through."
You
and then it goes
froze.
through thousand. Oh shoot.
Mark is frozen.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Is
Walking.
anything open? Oh, there he is again. He's back.
Oh, you know what? Let me close my internet. Maybe that might be taking up some space, some hard drive, some CPUs. Anyways, so
Demons snatching people. How did we get
yeah,
here? That's where you
think
cut
of
off.
think of end of the world kind of deal, and God he's just like up in heaven, being like, hey, this is the movie, this is the story of mankind. This is like what happened, and because he's telling it from the perspective like everything's already happened. It's already all done.
He's
like
recalling it,
humanity's already gone. The world is destroyed. It's in ruins, stuff like that. So he's recalling like the account of that happening. I don't know why I had that dream, but it was kind of cool.
I mean,
It's
it
just
sounds like an interesting movie.
yeah.
It'd
I
be a
mean-
very, like, philosophical movie.
I
As
was
in,
I was
like,
thinking,
there isn't really a main character to follow.
yeah,
Because there'd be
I mean,
narration, and then there would be,
yeah,
like, I see it as, like, there'd be narration, and then, like, it would jump to different stories randomly
Yeah,
of random people.
it would start with like
Yeah.
Adam and Eve, and then
It would just jump around.
go to like Noah, and then Abraham and Moses and stuff like that, and then it would go to us doing the podcast.
That'd be a really long movie if it started at the very front.
It would take
I thought
all
I
of
saw
time.
it. It's just like that's a long movie, man. I don't know. I got 4 hours to watch Snyder Cut, but I don't know about how long that would be, man.
Yeah, we would cut it down. It would be 2.5 hours max. That's still a long movie, but
I figured it'd all be some present day.
well, yeah, we could.
That would be more.
I think no. So what it would be
If that was
it would
actually
tell-
going to be made, I don't think they would do anything about past. I think they would do all present day problems.
I think they would
stories.
touch on the past.
Yeah, a little bit, but
little
I don't
bit.
think they would do like full
No,
run
no,
through
not.
all the way up to present day. That'd be too
Of course
much.
not. No. It'd just be the main events.
Yeah.
You know. And then as like when you get closer to, you know how they do those like kind of like not montages, but like fast moving pictures. It's just like just showing all the events and like newspapers of like
Yeah, it's like
going
it's
through
like
the
a
years.
ramp up. Yeah.
Yeah, a ramp up. It would be that kind of thing. Like, you'd start at Adam and Eve, maybe like have Noah, Moses, yada yada. Like have some of those events like kind of being shown, and then you do kind of like a ramp up, and then go to like more modern day, kind of like have another little scene or two, and then have another ramp up, and then you come to present day, and then you'd follow this character, and then the end of the world would ensue, and then it would just go into like, okay, how are they gonna navigate the situation? But in the end, everyone actually still dies. When George R. Martin, when he did this with freaking Game of Thrones, when he killed everyone off,
Not everyone.
I loved that. Like, I don't know who he killed off at the end because I didn't watch the last 2 seasons.
Well,
but
first of all, they finished the show before he finished the books,
yeah,
so it's probably not what he was going to write, but that's what they did. Which is the
Right,
reason
right,
why
right.
it wasn't as good, because he didn't write the last few seasons.
yeah, because they got a little bit too impatient, huh?
What?
They got a little bit too impatient, huh?
Yeah, he takes forever to write.
Yeah,
So-
that's true. But no, I like what he does, where he kills characters off. Like he gets you invested in the characters, and then it's just like, oh, they go through this tragic thing, and then they end up actually dying.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I invested so much love
Yeah.
and care into this character.
That's a sign of good writing, is that they made you care
Right.
for that person that
Yeah.
fast that you're upset when they die in season 1.
Yeah,
Rest in peace, Sean Bean.
right.
In
I was about
every
to
movie
say
ever.
every movie ever. Literally, the one guy. If you need a guy who needs to die, that's your guy.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. Sean Bean.
Hey, Sean Bean.
Hey, you got any Sean Beans? I'm trying to eat some burritos.
Speaking of characters that die, did you watch Army of the Dead?
Oh shoot, I didn't. Oh, I forgot. Oh.
Dang.
I forgot.
Because that movie is the same sort of sediment because it's zombies or whatever. So it's like you don't know who's gonna get out of it,
Yeah.
which I like in
Shoot.
movies. But then like, oh, there's
Dude.
no sequels really. Dang.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I would want to see that character again, but
Dude,
it was
do
really
you
good.
know do you know the show The 100?
I know of it. Yeah, I've never watched it.
So there was this
Isn't
guy.
that like the Rapture or something? And there's 100 people that stayed behind or something. Oh no, that's the
No.
Leftovers.
No.
There's a show called The
uh,
Leftovers, I think, or
The
something.
Leftovers?
That's like that. It's that concept, the people that were left behind, and that's the show that
Hmm.
it's about them.
I eat leftovers all the time.
I've never seen the show.
I exclusively only eat leftovers. Um,
Do you warm
I've
up
never
your
heard of-
leftovers, or do you eat your leftovers cold?
I am not a freaking animal.
Well,
Of
do you eat
course I
cold
heat
pizza?
up my freaking. I eat cold. No, I don't eat cold
I
pizza.
hate it.
I don't eat it.
I used to think
I
cold
like-
pizza was cool, but I'm like, no, I need that crunch. I need that hot
Dude.
cheese.
Okay, so what I don't understand, my phone died. What I don't understand is why people are like cold pizza is the
It's
ish.
not.
It's
good.
really not. It's really not. And okay, controversial opinion number 2 that I have: pineapple on pizza.
Disgusting.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
I'm the resident Hawaiian here, and I can say that it's not good. Personally, I don't like it.
Yes, that's exactly.
Why is it called
Personally.
Hawaiian pizza if there's Canadian bacon on it?
You know what? Why is anything called anything? Okay?
Because the white man.
Because the white man.
I can guarantee you it wasn't a Hawaiian that came up with Hawaiian pizza.
Oh, of course
Because
not,
they would
bro.
just
Are you
call it
freaking-
pizza.
Are you kidding me? Of course not.
I mean,
They didn't have pizza in Hawaii.
we eat American pizza. We don't even eat true pizza.
Nah, dude. Yo, we should have a pizza party again. That was fun. So for
I
those
wanna
of you,
I wanna have something at my
Yes?
house now. Yeah,
yeah, totally. Yeah,
because
we should do that.
we got like the whole backyards. Like, I don't know if we're gonna do it, but we might get a. Like
Oh,
a,
you
like
said.
go ahead.
Oh wait, Kevin's not leaving anymore. You said we were gonna do something. But
Yeah,
he's not.
I was gonna do something for Kevin when he left, but he's not leaving now, so that's off
Yeah, we
my
can still do-
shoulders. So
We can still do it though. We can still throw something.
that's less planning to do. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Just throw
we
like a
were-
barbecue or something.
yeah, we were gonna get My dad was talking about this was a while ago though, like a brick oven pizza to put in the backyard.
Dude, that'd be sick.
I want to get one so bad because I love making pizzas. And then we have a smoker
it's a
too.
pizza, man.
We gotta-
Hey,
we
yeah,
gotta-
I can make
yeah.
a pizza.
we got a Traeger
That's
smoker.
not even. That's not even anything.
No.
It's a pizza.
Mario pizza.
Mamma mia. A tomato and a ketchup and a. Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
what were you saying? I got distracted.
No, but we also got a smoker, like a Traeger, a big smoker.
Smoke
So-
tings.
Yeah. So like we can like have like awesome barbecue
Barbecues.
because
Yes.
we've
Real
deep-
American.
We've dove deep into the smoking game,
You dove deep like Subnautica.
like Subnautica. Did you get Subnautica?
No, I didn't get Subnautica.
You just
I only watch it.
game. You only watch
I just watch it.
games.
Listen. Okay. I like watching games because it's like I'm playing the game
Or
with
you
the
could
person.
just play the game and experience.
I know,
it
but
like
it's
a movie.
but I understand. But it's like I'm playing with a friend. You know, and I don't
Because
have
you
to
play
do anything.
multiplayer games that you can really play with a friend, that you can actually
know?
talk and they respond to you.
Yo, we should play something. Why haven't we
Well,
ever like played something?
you would have to buy a game.
Okay. Well, what do you play like
Do you want to
games that-
play Among Us?
No.
It's free right now. I snagged it because it was free. I'm like, oh, I'll grab it.
I might have to snag it just
I just
for
grabbed it
friggin-
just to have it. I would never. I wasn't.
Dude, Among Us, I feel
Among
like it's
Us
so
was
dumb.
fun to watch when it's like a group of people that you really enjoy. Like there's
I
like
never
fun
cared.
like my favorite comedy channel, Funhouse. Shout
I
out
never
Funhouse.
cared, dude.
They
I
they
never
have a
cared.
really good like comedy and like
Mhm.
relationship. So when they all play together, it's really fun because of the comedic aspect. But the game isn't that interesting to me. It's just kind of
No, I don't like the game. I think it's just dumb.
it'd be kind
I
of
don't know-
boring. Also,
don't know
you have to
why.
be a good liar.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just
Which I would
don't
like to
like
think
this
I'm a
game.
good liar when it comes to stuff
I
like that.
just I despise this game. I don't know why. There's just no
I
reason.
don't have anything against it. It just doesn't interest me.
There's no basis for why I hate this game. I don't even necessarily hate it. I'm
Just
more
doesn't
like
interest you.
it doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
And it just makes no sense to me why other people are interested in it. I'm just so confused. I don't know. Maybe I don't get it. Maybe I'm not getting the joke, the punchline. But yeah. What were we talking about?
Oh my! Every time you do that, I'm like, this dude does it so cheesy.
No. Okay, I was legit. So okay, before I said it, I was like,
You were thinking about
genuinely,
it, and then you
I was
remembered, and you're like, ooh, this is a
Yeah,
perfect
yeah,
time.
yeah. I was genuinely asking what were we talking about, but before I asked it, I remembered. Oh wait, that's like the whole thing about the podcast.
Yeah.
Shit.
Your turn.
My turn.
Your turn to
Hey,
intro the show.
welcome to the podcast. This is episode 4 of What Were We Talking About with Mark Kajan and my beautiful co-host Hunter Lop. This way, that way, this way. Okay. So today, what we're gonna talk about is a whole bunch of nonsense.
A whole bunch of nonsense. Nonsense episode.
Yeah. And it's it's fun stuff. We talk about things and other things.
Well, we're on the
Why not?
topic. I want to keep going with games since we're here.
Yes. So you just finished playing Resident Evil.
I did. Well, you don't. Have you watched any of it?
Okay,
Because
so I know
Jacksepticeye, you watch. That's like the only stuff you watch is his stuff. Like when it comes
that,
to like
that is not
when
true.
it comes to like a popular like gaming related person. From what I know, you watch Jack, you watch Ludwig, but he's mostly streaming,
Yeah.
and then you watch that couple play
Yeah.
Subnautica, and those are the only ones that I really know of that you watch gaming wise.
Right.
That are like
Yeah, I don't really watch too much else.
yeah. So have
And
you
then-
watched Jack play through Resident Evil since you aren't gonna be playing Resident Evil?
So, the answer is no. But I know that there's a big lady in it.
There is a big lady, Lady Dimitrescu,
Dimitrescu.
9-foot tall vampire woman.
All I know is people have been simping over her.
Yeah, she thick.
Mm.
Everybody been
Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
Everybody like everybody
Put
like
that.
everybody be like step on me.
She.
That's like the number one thing people say, step, because she's a gigantic woman.
Yes, you can crush me with your toes.
She does crush you. She throws you through walls and floors, and
That sounds like a fun time.
it's great. And she's
I'm
only
down.
like the first boss fight in the game, so like they've been banking everything like on their like advertisement with her. So
really?
like after that point, it's all free game.
It's
Like from
really?
what I saw about the game, it was like before I played it, it was like, oh, she's gonna be like a big part of it. She's like one of the big main
Mhm.
like antagonists, and it's like you get into the situation, and then you have the fight with her within probably the first couple hours, and then she's gone and she's done after
Really?
the fight. Yeah, she doesn't come back.
That's it.
But because there's a whole bunch of other people involved that they didn't really advertise, which I like.
Okay.
I like that because they didn't like spoil everything. They only showed
So-
like the first 2 hours of the game, really, from what I looked
So without spoiling,
Yes.
what can you tell me
at.
about
I could
the
tell.
rest
Well,
of the
do
game?
you like spooky games?
I don't like spook.
You don't
I
like
don't like to get spook.
Well, you're
Dude,
lucky because this one isn't as scary as Resident Evil
So-
7.
Quick little fun fact about spook.
Spook.
I watched a movie called The Babadook when I was like, it was maybe like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And I was scared. It was not even that scary of a movie, but I was scared because I hadn't seen a horror movie in a long time.
Do you get scared easy?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. I want to believe that I don't, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
Yeah, I got it. This one, This is technically Resident Evil 8, even though they call it Village. Um, Resident
Yeah,
Evil
the
Village.
Village.
But it's technically number 8. I would say it's not as scary as number 7. Number 7 was terrifying
Really?
because I
Did it make you
play
pee your pants?
no, but I've watched scary games, I've watched scary movies. I've played a few, like I've played the earlier Resident Evil games, which weren't as like scary because they're all like third person. Um, I played the remakes of 2 and 3, which are really good, and then after that they turned into like actiony games. They are not really scary. They like lost their touch, and then they rebooted it with number 7, which was like a first person, super scary, creepy, dark, but it was fun. But I watched that game, and I never played it.
Mm-hmm.
So then when they announced 8, I'm like, oh, maybe this looks interesting. Maybe I'll play 7. I'll buy 7 because there was a bundle you could get 8 and 7 for like half the price. So
Very nice.
I started through 7, and the first like couple hours of that game is terrifying. I've
What
never
made you-
been
what made
more
you
like
scared?
I've never been more like just tense. Not like I'm scared I'm gonna cry or like piss my pants, but like you're tense and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
because it's
I know what you mean.
it's the silence and nothing happening that makes it scary.
Yeah, it's like when you're first playing Minecraft and like you get to your first night and you haven't built a house yet out of dirt.
I don't
and
know if
zombies
it's
are
like that.
zombies are coming after you.
I mean,
No?
there are zombies in Resident Evil.
Is that not a good parallel?
No, because that's not that scary. You just
No,
build a house of dirt and you sit in it. This one you
I
can't
know.
escape
I know. I'm just
because
being,
they do
just being
the
funny.
Resident Evil is known for like you're stuck in a place and there's a gigantic person or like an antagonist that you can't defeat that's always chasing you, so you have to constantly be running from them and progress.
Mm. Sounds
So,
like
like,
fear itself.
It's very fun. So like I don't know if you've heard of Mr. X.
Mr. X.
Mr. X
Are you
was from
talking
Resident
about
Evil 2.
Professor X, the one
No.
who created the Powerpuff Girls, Sugar Spice and Everything Nice?
You mean Professor X? That's X-Men.
Oh, never
Is
mind.
that his name? Is there someone who created the Powerpuff Girls?
You don't remember who?
No.
Like, he was like stirring the pot with the
I don't
Sugar
know,
Spice
dude, but
Everything Nice.
Professor X is X-Men.
It's not Professor
Professor
X.
X is X-Men, the freaking bald boy.
You're totally right. But also
Resident Evil, back on track.
right. Tangent
Talking
things.
about Powerpuff Girls. But like the beginning of that game is like you're in. I'll give you the overall plot of the first game. Jack plays it too if you want to go back and watch it.
No.
But it's not that spooky when you're watching someone. It's just when you're on the controls and you're kind of just like you don't know what to do.
Yeah, because you don't know what's coming next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're watching it, you can like just skip ahead.
You
or-
skip ahead.
No, I'm saying no. You watch it times 2, so you probably wouldn't even get scared anyway.
No, I watch it 1.5.
Yeah, you can't watch scary games like that. It ruins it.
Ever since we had that conversation where I was just like, oh, I watch everything
He's
2
been
times. And you're like,
acknowledging.
2 times. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. I'll slow it
I'll
down.
slow it down to 1.5.
1.5.
And I'm gonna get you down to 1 normal eventually.
No, dude, it's too slow. It's too slow. My brain works
it's-
too quickly.
But do you watch movies at times speed?
No, but I don't watch movies. Ay, she.
This man has a problem.
I just had coffee, okay?
Yeah, and you're having tea, even better. Anyway, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. You play as Ethan Winters. His wife has gone missing, and you go to search for her. She has sent him an email that she is at this location. Come save me. Blah blah blah. So you go to this house, and you find her, and then she's like infected, and she's like this weird creature that she turns into, and then the people that live in that house that have kidnapped her are also infected, and you have to fight your way out of the house and kill all the people that have turned into these creatures. But it's like just weird like shapes, and not shapes, but like they're human, they just look dead, and then like they'll morph and like they'll crack and transform into like these weird like
Sounds like me in the morning.
yeah, it's fun. But like the first 2 hours is you have to escape like the house, and the the main like the husband of the family is just always walking around the house. And you
Mm.
can't kill him. You have to just run.
Why doesn't he get a job?
Because he's an undead, like infected mold guy.
Wow, what a freaking moocher, dude.
Yeah. The whole family's like this. It's great. So this whole time you're trying to find your wife in the house and escape and get everybody out. And at the end you do. And it's really good. I'm not going to spoil anything.
I mean, you kind of spoiled the whole thing.
No, I didn't. Because there's twists and turns and there's a lot of story that I just glossed over.
Twists and turns, bobs and weaves, like, you know.
And then, yeah. And then 8 is a sequel to it. It's three years later.
Oh.
Yes.
So your wife is the big chick
No.
that you gotta fight.
No, your wife is Mia. She's a normal woman.
Oh.
And then 3 years later, you guys have a kid. Her name is Rose.
And she's infected.
And she is taken.
No. Liam.
Liam. I'm not spoiling anything because I showed in the trailer. Mia is killed. And
Right.
you and your daughter are taken.
Oh, okay. So it's a joint adventure.
And then there is a crash. Your daughter
kind
is
of a
gone.
crash?
Like the car that you are in after being taken is crashed. Everybody's
Okay.
dead. Your daughter is gone. You wake up and you find yourself in this village. Like
Right.
in Europe. In the Europe
Okay.
mountains. I don't know where. They don't really say.
Ah, probably Austria.
I don't know. Some Eastern Europe, because that's where like they were living. But you find yourself in this village.
Probably Estonia.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time when I was playing the game. Anyway, it was snowing. I don't know if that helps, but it doesn't matter. You find yourself in this village, and there's like lichens and vampire big ladies and creatures and
Lichens are sick, dude.
lichens are cool, and they're different
Dude,
than
they're so-
werewolves, and they're way better.
Okay, explain to me, or explain to the
The
layman.
difference of a lichen and a werewolf.
Yes.
Well, a lichen isn't like necessarily hairy either. And if you're
I'm
bitten
not
by
liking
a
that.
and if you're bitten by a lichen, you can become a lichen. I think.
Oh, I'm liking that.
But if you're a werewolf, is the stupid moon change thing, turn into some roided out wolf on 2 legs. A lichen is just like, just watch the movie Underworld. That'll tell you all about lichen. I can't really explain lichens, but the way that they like use the lichens and stuff is like really interesting to the story because it's not like they're just lichens.
Interesting.
There's,
I
like,
thought lichens were
experiments.
like permanent werewolves.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they can't change really, unless it's Underworld, which they can change. But in this, they don't. They're just kind of permanently changed. They're like experimented on. That's how they became this way. Anyway, and you have to find your daughter, and you find your daughter, and she's been taken by these group of people led by Mother Miranda, and her children, and one of the children is the big lady.
Megan. Put the Josh Peck
Put the Josh Peck picture up of just
of him saying Megan because you said Miranda, like Miranda
Yeah.
Cosgrove.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, you see, iCarly's coming back.
Is it?
Yeah, and it looks not good.
Yeah. No, I don't. Pay
Half the
attention to
cast
that
is
stuff.
gone.
Is Gibby still there?
No,
Darn it.
and neither is Sam. She's not coming back.
Who the heck is still there then? Is Carly there? at all?
Carly, Freddie, and the brothers. Is it Spencer?
Jerry Trainer.
Yeah, Jerry Trainer. They're
Yeah,
it's just them 3
he's-
and then like 2 new chicks.
That's so lame.
Yeah.
That's so lame. It's like know when to stop.
Well,
Like you had your time to shine.
Jeanette McCurdy, who plays Sam, she did want to come back.
She did.
She didn't.
She did not.
She's doing other things, and she doesn't want to go back to doing that. She doesn't.
Yeah.
Really, she doesn't
why
really do
return to the
acting anymore.
past?
Yeah, but also like she like has said like that was like a really horrible time for her doing that show
Really?
because she was so just you can read into it. There's a lot to pick out of it, but
You know what's funny?
it kind of
I was
stopped her from acting after she finished the show. So
I
like
see.
she does more producing and directing now, and she
I
wanted to
see.
stick with that. And then
You know what's
Gibby
funny?
just didn't come back.
Gibby. Oh my gosh. I wonder what happened to him.
I don't know.
Um,
He's probably some jack dude in shape now, because usually that's
it,
what happens.
yeah, usually that's what happens. Like what happened to Neville Longbottom
Yeah,
in Harry Potter.
dude got
Um,
ripped and like handsome.
yeah,
And
which is weird.
Josh Peck too. He
Yeah,
got fit.
yeah, yeah.
And then Drake
Do you?
Bell broke his hand, had to reteach his hand how to play guitar, and then like moved to
That's
Mexico.
kind of
And like
insane.
and then like changed his name and like moved to Mexico or something.
What?
Because his fan base was like a
Is this real?
majority, yeah, like his fan base was like majority Spanish.
No way.
So
Espanol?
like a lot of, if you look up him on Spotify, a
España?
lot of his songs and stuff are in Spanish.
Hmm?
And he speaks it fluently. And like I don't know
Really?
if he legally changed his name, but on like
Greco
Insta,
Bello
no, he changed his last name to Cambella.
Suarez.
Campella? Campella.
Campela? I don't know what the
Whatever
freaking.
the word for bell is in Spanish. So his name is Drake
No
Campella.
way.
Yeah. I don't know if he
That's
legally
so
changed his
funny.
name, but like a lot of the stuff he does is in Spanish now, and like that's the majority of like his fan base, but he still does stuff in English and that too. I don't know if he lives in Spain or Mexico or whatever.
Dude,
But
what the heck?
that's like
That
where
is so random.
that's so random, but like I
How
mean
do you
that's
know this? How do you
because
know this?
because I enjoyed Drake Bell as a performer, and he was cool, and
Dude, Drake and Josh, that was the show back in the day, dude. That was the freaking show, dude. Ooh.
well, it's on Hulu too. I should rewatch it all,
I don't like going back and rewatching old shows
because
because
then you can realize
it
how
loses
bad
the
they
magic.
were. Yeah,
It loses the magic.
maybe
I remember there
I'll
was this
go
one
back
scene.
and watch like the specific episodes that I remember.
I remember there's this one scene where this guy comes to deliver a package at the door, and then I think it was Josh who's just like, "Have a good day," and then the guy's just like, "Don't tell me what to do."
Yeah,
I freaking love that
or
scene. That's like one of my favorite ones.
yeah, or when he's at the door with, is it Mindy, his girlfriend?
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
she's
yeah.
like, "I love you," and he's like, "See you in chemistry," and then he closes the door.
That relationship was so cringe.
Yeah, but they were, I mean, they were like high school, so they were some big high schoolers. They were really old for high schoolers.
Yeah,
But I mean, that was typical,
yeah.
because just getting people to play younger people was a lot easier to deal with than having someone underage on set.
Right. You don't want anybody like, oh, you got to freaking sign papers.
Well, yeah, signing
and have
papers.
their-
Parents always have
have
to
their
be on
parents
set.
be
They
there,
can't work
yeah.
after a certain like time of day, and they
right,
can't
child
do
labor laws.
They can't do specific things. Like I don't know how like romance works
Yeah,
and like violence works, because like I know like you can't like be present if you're under 18 for like fight scenes,
Mhm.
violent scenes. They don't let the kid be on set. They have to have a stunt double do it all. I
right.
don't know how like romance and kissing works for underage either, but I would assume it's
I-
something similar.
I don't think it matters.
Well,
Let's get back.
let's get back on track to Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Just
the
got
kids.
way off
there
track.
were kids. There's
Just-
a big lady. Yeah, big lady's one of the kids, eh? So each
Wait,
one
the
of these
big lady is one of the kids?
like there's Mother Miranda and her children. They're not her
Oh,
real
okay.
children, but she calls them her children, like
Oh,
her
she
servants.
takes the children. She takes the children.
But she didn't take them as children.
Hmm?
These people that she calls her children, 'cause she calls herself Mother Miranda.
Oh, they're not actually children?
No, they were people that lived in the village that she took and experimented on to give them their abilities of big womanness or weird creature. They were
Oh.
all normal people at first, but then she
Oh, so-
adopted them to be her like servants and people.
Is Mother Miranda the big 10-foot
Yes.
tall lady?
No. She's
No.
the big bad of the whole thing. She's the one that stole your daughter
Oh. So
for other nefarious reasons.
so who's the big 10-foot tall lady?
Big 10-foot lady is one of the children of Mother Miranda. There's 4
Mm.
that like serve under her.
I see.
And she has her
She
own
got the
castle.
henchmen.
Yeah, she has her own castle, and you have to escape the castle,
Right.
and then you fight her, and then you have to go mess with the other 3 people, because each one of the
So she's
children-
Bowser. She's Bowser.
Yeah.
Miranda, and then all the other one are the Koopalings.
but just
Ah.
a lot more dangerous.
Right.
Where is that? Oh, and then like each of the family members, the children, have something you need, so you have to go to each one and get what you need, but before you face Miranda, blah 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 blah. But yeah, she's the first one, and she's like out for the count in the first 2 hours. But it was probably one of the spookiest sections of the game, I would say. The first like half of the game is scarier than the second half. Because by the second half you're able to fight back, you get weapons and you're able to upgrade
Right.
and like you feel more comfortable.
What was your favorite weapon in the
My
game?
favorite weapon. Oh god.
What kind of weapons do you get?
You get a whole you get a pistol, you get a pump action shotgun, you get a sniper rifle. And then you can upgrade to get like a different like a beefier like a combat shotgun,
Combat shotgun.
which is like real big beefy military type weapon. And then you can get like a magnum pistol, which is like Resident Evil's signature, always most powerful gun usually. You can get like a grenade launcher, and all these weapons are like time period, because like this village is like really old and like out of touch with the rest of the world, so it's not modern. So a lot of the weapons are old. Like it's an old pump action shotgun, it's an old sniper rifle. Like they're not like modern weapons until you upgrade stuff to like later on in the game.
And what like time period is this set in?
It's set in present day, but like the village is like just like it's a village. So like you think of like a village, like a devout village of like all these people that like they have a church and all their houses are made of wood, and that's that kind of village setting.
I got you. So like almost like Amish people.
Yeah, but just not Amish.
Amish people have guns.
Yeah, but like they all like worship Mother Miranda. That's like their thing.
Yeah, I don't think Amish people do that.
No, they just party with Mother Miranda.
Sure.
Yeah.
The partying that they do, what kind of partying do Amish people have?
I don't know, man. I haven't looked into
they drink
Amish
milk
culture.
and like sing Kumbaya.
I was gonna say there's probably some sort of dancing and singing involved, but then again, that's like most people. I haven't looked into Amish culture.
Some Irish clog dancing.
Yeah.
That's not even a thing.
Is that Amish? Is Irish Amish?
No.
Irish Amish. But like,
man. I'm sure there are Irish Amish.
Yeah. I don't have a favorite weapon. I mean, I have a go-to. Like, if I was going to, like, the shotgun is always like your best friend. Because when you're scared, you don't want to have to aim down sights and shoot. You want to just be able to turn a cord and just go ha and bang.
Yeah.
Because with jump scares and everything, but I don't know.
They really pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, which I've done. Like, you go to like click on like, oh, let me read this like piece of paper, and like you
accidentally pulls out shotgun.
No, like you have like your gun's always out, so let's like hit F to examine this so you can read it, and like you click through it. But then when you click through the last one, you click one too many, so you're done reading it, so it puts it down.
And you shoot the table.
And you shoot the table, and you're like, oh, oh no.
Oh my gosh.
And it makes you jump a little bit, but they do a really good job.
Were there any moments? Were there any moments where like you're reading something or examining something, and then something just pops up behind you and like grabs you?
No, because all the reading stuff is optional.
Oh.
It's like just like little things here and there to like build lore and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, they have moments like, well, the game is filled with like sounds just to make you creep out. So like you'll be sitting there, you'll be reading through something, and you'll hear something in your headphones like on the right, and you're like, wait, nothing can pop out to me right now. I'm reading something. But like the game's full of that, so like.
Oh, is it like you're kind of invulnerable while you're reading?
I think so. I would think so, because usually they don't put stuff that you can read in places where you have to fight.
Right, where you have to fight.
Yeah, but they do a really good job of making you use every weapon based on how they build the characters. Like everybody has a weakness or whatever. Right. But as far as like building that like tension, they'll play like creepy music when nothing is happening. And, like, it'll make you feel tense, like, okay, something's happening, I'm about to fight. And nothing happens. Right. They'll do it at random.
Interesting.
And they'll play sounds at random to make you, like, freak out and think and always be on your toes. But I remember I had to go back, like, and load a previous save because I forgot to grab something that I couldn't go get later. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to run through this whole section to go get the one thing, because it'll add it to my latest save.
Right.
I'm like, I had to do the castle bit again with the big lady. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to run through this. Because I already knew what happened. I sped through that whole section in like 30 minutes. Because you, like, hiding, I'm like so used to exploring everything. And then, like, you're hiding from everybody. But then you realize, oh, I can just outrun them the whole time,
Yeah.
and I can just loop them around a table to get behind them or whatever. So like, I
You
mean,
just
it,
juke
it
them
loses the magic.
if you
Of
just
course, I
run
mean,
through it.
like scary games. I think scary games lose their magic when you go to play it a second time because you already know what's gonna happen.
Right,
You
right, right,
already
right,
know it's
right.
gonna jump out if you can remember it. But like, there is
But it does have that.
replayability.
It does have that like intense. Like you
Yeah,
do
it's
get
always
those intense
intense.
moments.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
Or sometimes you'll forget and you're like, oh, this section's fine, and you'll just be sprinting through a section, and then something pops out, and it'll still freak you out because you forget about those little things. But
yeah, it's just like real life.
yeah, when you're sprinting through your hallways, your own house because you want to get somewhere, and
And
then
then like,
someone jumps out the door and like, hey, and you freak out and then you fall.
yeah, and then you break
That's
both your
I've
legs.
never and then you break both your legs or you get some big old welt on your forehead. But
Mm,
um,
yeah.
have you ever played a spooky game?
No.
No.
I remember some friends were when we had some LAN parties in our house in Hungary, and we would play. I think it was like CS:GO or something like that. And there
I
was
never
this
got into CS:GO.
there was this one night where they were playing Slender Man, and that was kind of spooky, dude.
I mean, I watched a little bit. I didn't get into it.
Yeah, I mean when that whole thing was going on, it was kind of terrifying. But I
It's
never
also
got
kinda
into.
boring.
I never got into any of that stuff. I don't
Yeah.
really care for spooky dooky stuff.
Spooky dooky.
No horror, no nothing that
Yeah.
gets me all frightened.
Well, that's why I like Resident Evil because it's like it's not so much like scary, it's just more like tense.
Yeah, the
And
scariest thing
like
that I ever played was Life.
that board game's not that scary. What are you talking about?
No,
Did you get like some
my real
Halloween
life.
version or something?
My real life.
Yeah, I know. I got you.
Yeah,
I know. I've seen it.
It's-
That's pretty terrifying.
It is pretty terrifying.
But as
So,
an
okay.
overall,
How
wrap
would you rate it? I guess.
I know that's
What's
what
your
I wanted
thought?
to
What
do
are your
kinda-
thoughts?
I want to tie it off because I kind of left it open.
Yeah.
I loved it way more than I loved 7. I loved 7. 7 was fun and spooky.
So you loved 7 and it was fun, and you loved it way more.
Yes.
So
7
number
was
8.
7 was better than I thought it would be. I thought because I watched 7 when it came out. I didn't have any interest in playing it because I didn't play any of the previous Resident Evils. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna be as. It's not gonna work
Mhm.
unless I play the previous ones. But it
Yeah.
it had no connection to the other ones. So I just decided to play it now because it was connected
Mhm.
to 8. So I played 7, and I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. There was a lot of stuff I forgot about. It was scarier than I thought it would be in bits. The beginning was probably too scary for what
Yeah.
it should have been compared to the rest of the game. But I really enjoyed it. It was fun. The way that they do like world building and like lore and story in Resident Evil was always interesting because it's always like a mystery and they always ask questions and it's never really answered. Or like these huge revelations will come and like there's still 50 million questions, which I really enjoy because like they don't answer everything right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way that they connect to like the previous game still, even though this is number 7, is really fun. And then as far as 8, it's more of like an action, because in 7 you have like 3 weapons that you
Mhm.
rotate through. You have like a pistol, you got a shotgun, and then you have like a I don't think you have a sniper in that game. You have some sort of you get the Magnum or whatever, but like you don't have as much of an arsenal as 8.
Mhm.
7 is like this really enclosed in this house, this like Louisiana house, creepy, dark escape is the goal. And then 8 like really opens up in like this big set piece. It's outside, it's bright out, it's spooky at times in like darker areas, but you have the ability to fight back more, so it's more of like an action adventure like thriller than like a horror game. Which I mean I enjoy that more because it ramps up because it starts freaky horror and then it builds up to this point to where you can fight back, and I just really enjoy that form of storytelling more in a game than always being on my toes and freak the heck out.
Yeah.
But there's some bits where you freak the heck out. Like there's a whole like doll section like
Ew.
creepy dolls and
Dude, I hate
dolls
creepy
that
dolls.
like
I
move
hate
really
creepy
weird,
dolls.
and like a really creepy fetus baby monster.
A
It's like
fetus baby
it's
monster.
a fetus baby monster. This thing's gigantic, like, and it chases you, and you can't. They take all your weapons at this point, and you have to just hide from it, and like escape
Dude,
it, and it'll
big
swallow you.
Big fetus baby monster reminds me at the end of the game The Forest. I don't know if you ever saw that, but there's this like the girl that they're like they find this girl, and basically she's the daughter of the main guy and girl that you're finding clues out about them, and at the end she like transforms into this like huge zombie monster because they were doing experiments on her. And it reminds me of that. This huge baby fetus thing is like really crazy looking.
Yeah,
It was really weird.
It's creepy. But those were some really good sections, and then the end of the game turns into this big like action, like ramp up, really fun and like badass moments compared to like the small like tension that builds and builds. But it does a good job of pacing it. Like it doesn't just flip on a switch. So, and then it kind of ends openly, like there's gonna be a 9 most likely. But some things happened that I wasn't expecting. So I enjoyed it. Yeah, cliffhanger. Yeah, it tied a knot on the setting of the village and everything that happened there, but it left an open path for what's next for everybody that's involved, and like how everything goes from here as far as like how this all happened or whatever. But I enjoyed it more than 7 based off of its like pacing is everything for me, especially in movies too. You understand pacing, I assume, yes.
Yeah.
Pacing it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's like running a race.
Yeah,
it's like running a race. Keep your pace.
I just have to ask because there's different ways to do pacing, and pacing in games is a little bit, I think, harder than in movies because you can't really control what the player does all the time. So, but they do a really good job of like giving you time to explore areas, escape, and fight, and then learn about stuff and progress. And that's what I like open world stuff where I can kind of just explore and go around.
Yeah,
7 didn't have that as much. 8 really did.
I love open world.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah. So based off of 7, I would give 7 like maybe an 8 on an overall level. On a spooky level, I'd probably give it like a 9.
Right.
Based off of what I've played, which isn't much spooky games. But it wasn't the most terrifying thing, but it was in parts it was just super tense and kind of
definitely got
at times I'm like, do I really want to play through this right now? Because I play lights off, dark, headphones cranked. I play yeah. That's how I watch movies too, but it's like if I'm gonna play a scary game, I'm gonna play it in the right setting.
Right.
And as far as 8 goes, I would probably give it a 9.
Right.
Because there's always room for improvement, but
of course, I never rate anything 10.
Yeah, I really loved it. But again, every game has things that you're like, maybe I don't know if that was the right way to do it, or like bugs happen here and there and stuff. But
yeah,
but I really loved it. I would highly recommend at least watching Jack's playthrough. If you're
maybe I'll watch a video.
You're not interested in buying a full $60 game.
Yeah, probably not a Resident Evil game.
Yeah, it was, especially if it's your first Resident Evil, but you can buy the bundle. It was $80 for 7 and 8.
I think I'll pass.
Yeah,
I need to pay bills.
I know you will. But I haven't watched all of Jack's playthrough just because I wanted to play through it first, but I've been going back and watching everybody.
You know what we should do? We should find a game that we could both play.
Yeah.
And that would be fun.
Talk about it, yeah. Well, I have plenty of games that I think you should play, but you don't have any sort of console.
No, I do not, and I'm not going to buy one.
But you do. Well, money. I'm not going to make you buy a $200, $300 console. But you do
Plus
have
PS5s. You can't even get one.
I know. I'm still trying to get one. But
dude, weren't you going to get one the day it released?
Yeah, and then
it sold out immediately.
Bots took it, and they're still taking them, and they're still trying to combat it.
Gosh, dang,
it's still
dude.
a huge problem.
That's crazy.
But I mean, there was only really one game that came out at the time of the release that I was really interested in playing. So I bought the game. I have the game sitting right here, but I can't play it.
What is it? Is it Spider-Man?
It's Spider-Man Miles Morales, yeah.
Yeah.
And it has like pre-order bonuses and stuff that came with it, so those codes expire in 2024. So as long as I get a PlayStation by 2024, I'm fine.
Be yeah. I think you'll be good.
Yeah. But like some games like are console exclusive that I think you would really enjoy, but they're also really long games, like 30-hour games.
Dude.
Which is probably time you wouldn't be investing in something. So we'll have to find something that's also on Steam.
I'll invest 30 hours into the right thing.
Yeah. Well, I'll do a deep dive in and see maybe what we could play based off what I have on Steam, and maybe I'll just let you borrow my PlayStation.
Yeah, maybe.
Since I've already played through it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think we could definitely do that.
Yeah.
So,
have we even talked about anything today besides Resident Evil and Dreams? I think that's all we did today.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all we got to. We didn't even get to talk about Elijah's wedding.
I know. It's okay. We'll talk about it next time.
It's a little late by then.
No, I mean, it's still fresh. It's only like 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'll just be like, hey,
forgot there was this wedding.
There was this wedding. But, I guess let's outro. You want to outro or I outro?
I outroed the last two.
Oh, you outroed the last two?
Yeah, you take it.
Okay, well, I intro and outro this one.
You take it, because people really have been loving hearing us talk about Resident Evil and Dreams.
Right.
A game that I did not really talk about in detail.
What are you talking about?
I beat around the bush so much on that.
Oh,
because I was trying to not spoil it for you, because I don't know if you are gonna watch it or not. No, like if you're gonna watch Jack play it or whatever.
Yeah, I got you.
I just hate doing that, but it's kind of hard to not talk about something without.
If I'm like most definitely not gonna like watch something or play something, like you can just spoil it. I don't care.
Well, now I guess you have to go watch it since I didn't spoil it.
Now I guess I have to.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, we're at the end of the podcast. Me and Hunter, we had a fun time talking to you guys about Dreams and Resident Evil and little tangents in between. If you like the podcast, share it with a friend. Why not? This is the What Were We Talking About podcast, and we love you. We hope to see your face around here next time, and have a good night.
That's it. Good.
Yep. Bye.
See you later. Okay. We're ending it now. I'm gonna look deeply in the camera. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna look deeply in the camera, and we're both just gonna say goodbye. We will see you next week. As always. Bye. 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 Sleep tight. Don't let Big Lady D scare you in the night.
No, nobody wants Big Lady D.
Goodbye.
Bye.